Good evening, everybody. Welcome to week 2 of SKL. We're coming up on our last day here for the week. I am Kevin Big Booty Bodie. Tonight, we've also got Jonah Zaramali Shaver.
What's up?
And Blake Dezaninator Zanadine.
Hey.
Hey. All right, so tonight, for game 1 on blue side, we've got Vicious and Delicious facing off against Indecision on the red side.
Right off the bat, we see a Vane ban going towards I'm a big tough guy, but honestly, that could go into Similodon's pocket since the guy literally plays everything. But the Skarner ban coming out, Nocturne, another great ban. We saw Freakers bringing out last week. Azir going out towards Bakery Boy. I don't know if we've seen much Azir against Bakery Boy.
I think he played it. He played it last week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or did he? Someone did. Maybe it was Weeblet.
No, it was Land Before Time that played Azir, and they got the 5-man ulti. You casted that.
Oh, yeah.
You went nuts.
You can see that on our top 5 plays of week 1, sponsored by HyperX.
Hey. But we get the Skarner off of Weeblet here. He does play it a lot. The Olaf ban coming out. Very strong pick so far. I'm very curious to what first pick prioritization will be. I know formally we've only seen him play Ashe so far. I'm a big tough guy, also a very avid Ashe player, so see if either team really prioritizes that pick, but wouldn't be surprised also to see a Braum pick go through in that first round.
Braum pick is never a surprise in SKL.
Guy is OP. But as a third ban, they're really waiting it out here. And the Ashe ban.
Dad Ashe ban.
Dang, I'm very curious, but you know, it does come out. We're going to see formally you have to play something else.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. He played it both games last week, right?
He did.
Yeah, right.
Comfort pick. I mean,
maybe they can maybe sneak the Jinx away from I'm a big tough.
Oh, the Mordekaiser steal. And Vicious and Delicious going to throw that back. Only the second team to bring it out so far this tournament. And
last team was Indecision.
So we'll have to see if he can throw it back at I'm a big tough guy's face. Maybe show us how the Mords played. But very interesting to get that as a first pick. It is available, but as we look, pick and ban, there's a lot of Juggernauts still available as well. And we do know Similodon very much prefer. I mean, the guy plays anything, but he did very good on Darius the other day. We've seen him play Garen, Fiora, so I'm pretty sure they'll probably last pick. They usually leave that last pick for Similodon, so we'll see the Echo pick up. I'm going to say that's most likely going in the jungle. Have seen Weeblet play it a time or two. Kalthace has most of his champions available, but that's the interesting actually thing is I think Bakery Boy and Kalthace have very similar champion pools, so I'm going to be very curious what they'll bring out. See the Janna hover here.
Interesting. Hot Dog McGee, we've seen play actually a lot of Nami and Thresh as well. I don't know if we've seen much Janna out of her, but
I think this is the first Janna.
Yeah.
No, Sharptooth plays it a ton, but it was banned yesterday against them both games.
Although no Braum though. Braum was up and they didn't select it.
Ugh, the Draven hover. They're just playing. They're just playing with me right now. I'm not giving into this.
You know that's not Draven mid or what?
If you know, I was joking about Draven jungle in the chat earlier, so maybe this is they finally realized the OP-ness of Draven jungle. But
you know, Weeb plays a little bit of Draven jungle, but
I tried to convince both guys that it is completely OP. You just go brutalizer, do a ton of damage, but no one's gonna go for it. They don't believe me. But I'm very curious if they will fall back onto the Gragas or the Zac pick for Freakers here. Pretty much exclusively only played those two champions. He had Zac banned against him quite a bit. Moved to Nocturne next week, but with that gone, we'll go to the Gragas and we see a Kog'Maw mid pick. Very good. Got a lot of poke here. It's the Draven hover again. These guys are literally trolling me. They know I get excited with this, but oh well. It doesn't matter. Very interesting. We haven't seen much Kog'Maw mid at all, I think. No. I only saw it in one game during the qualifiers, and it was played against Vicious and Delicious. Which team is Dunzo Gaming? Saw
Chicken Wrap.
Yeah, when they were playing their poke comp with the AP Shaco.
Oh yeah, that was us. Yeah,
that was
we casted that game.
That was actually really great. Actually, all three of us. Yeah, there's a lot of poke. I'm curious what they'll pick up as an AD carry. I don't think Draven would fit in. They have the Janna and the Echo, which has a decent amount of CC and peel. So maybe they're gonna look for a disengage comp to keep the Mordekaiser. I'd like to see a Jinx, maybe a Caitlyn. The poke is really efficient against Mordekaiser.
I'm a big tough guy as well. You know, we know he likes that Jinx, and there it is. Yeah. He was actually our #1 top play on our top 5 plays of the week, sponsored by HyperX, with a great cross map ulti which you can hear us.
See, I'm telling you, these guys are literally trolling me. This is planned.
Draven support?
This is planned. No, they're
Draven
talking.
top?
I don't believe any of their picks because these guys always troll me. They'll hover things that they're like, yeah, like I do play this. They'll hover it and then they don't actually pick it. Like Singe last. I'm done. I want that Vel'Koz support, but I know he's not gonna lock it in. He's just playing with me. But we do see the Lulu Janna. It's gonna be a Protect the Jinx comp so far.
Mm-hmm.
Brad.
The Bard hover would be pretty good. Bard 80 carry, screw Mordekaiser, put him in the top lane. But they are waiting. They do have top and support probably, unless they do throw this Mordekaiser in a solo lane, which I haven't seen much. Usually played in 80 carry.
That'd be bold.
I do like the Kog'Maw pick. You need something that has that poke, and they do go with the Blitzcrank.
I like that.
Very strong pick with Mordekaiser. I would say Thresh and Blitz probably synergize best with Mordekaiser. Keep them close. See, I told you they're playing the heartstrings, and the Gnar picked up by Poof the Sheep.
Yeah, Gnar, a very strong champion right now. Have we seen Similodon play Gnar?
I'm not sure if he has played Gnar,
but knowing his champion pool, I'm sure he can.
I would not doubt he plays it.
Yeah.
But last pick here, looking at the mid. No, Lulu. Lulu could go top or mid. So it's kind of a flex pick at this point.
But also, like, Echo still could go top mid jungle.
That's true.
We don't
That's
know
true.
for a fact where Echo is going yet.
They need damage. In my opinion, they need to pick something.
Well, you could put Echo mid. That's
Do you
damage.
see Darius again, the Gangplank? There's lots of damage. The bruisers in the top lane that can put out a lot of damage as well as be tanky. So we might see either of those.
And this is really good. I know yesterday. Oh, it switches to the downright Darius.
Yeah, called it.
That's good. That's actually a really good pick because yesterday we saw Notice Me Senpai kind of run the same comp as I did Indecision, but they went with a Maokai top and really lacked in damage. I think this Darius pick is really good. We've seen Similodon very, very good at this champion, that 2v1, also in the top 5.
Disgusting outplay. But yeah, so we're going to take a break here for a couple minutes, but stick around. We got a great game coming up, and we'll be right back.
Check this out.
Waiting till you came.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here for a great game between Vicious and Delicious and Indecision.
On the blue side, we have Vicious and Delicious with Poof the Sheep on Gnar in the top lane. We have Freakers bringing out his main, the Gragas, in the jungle. Bakery Boy on that Monitor Kog'Maw in the mid lane, formerly coming out with the Mordekaiser in the AD carry position. And we have Mo Money repping that Blitzcrank in support.
On the red side, we have Team Indecision in the top lane, playing Darius. We got Samilodon in the jungle, playing Echo. We got Weeblit in the mid lane on that Dragon Trainer Lulu, Kelthice. AD carry, I'm a big tough guy playing that Jinx, and in support, playing the beautiful Forecast Janna. It's Hot Dog McGee.
Quit hitting on Janna there, Zaramali.
Can you help it? Look at her. She's in the storm. She's braving it to get the story, man. There's nothing more attractive than passion, and that lady looks passionate.
You know, I'm actually liking the way that Gragas is looking tonight, but...
Well, I mean, Gragas is just an attractive man. There's no way around it. That guy's got a sexy face. But as we go into it here, very curious to see what we're going to see, if we're going to have any interesting level 1 strats. We see some pings going out by Indecision on their own blue buff. Probably just going to protect. Common strategy, level 1, you got a Blitzcrank on your team, you're invading. So we're going to see if they can get those wards down fast enough, no one gets caught out, because it's nothing worse than giving a free kill over because the team has a Blitzcrank and they walk into the same bush every bloody game.
Yeah, we have an interesting team comp coming in from the side of Vicious and Delicious there. They have the disengage, engage kind of in that Gragas and Gnar. They also got the poke in the Kog'Maw in the mid lane, and then the bot lane there is good. You know, the Mordekaiser and Blitz does synergize together, bringing whatever champion it is in close so that Mordekaiser can do his stuff onto that champion and get some kills.
He does put down a lot of damage, and yeah, but like we were saying, the Blitzcrank lane is really good. You really need someone that can bring them in, lock them down to be able to do that damage as you are melee. He does. I've never seen this. It's actually quite interesting. The exhaust onto the Mordekaiser and ignite onto Blitzcrank. They're definitely going to be looking for early kills with that, not bringing the heal, but you have so much sustain through your Harvester of Sorrows. You put it on your support, you get movement speed increase, and then if you activate it again when in a group, it heals you. They got the double Targons. They're going to have enough sustain. I don't really think it's going to be necessary for him to bring the heal to get through laning phase. Might also try and keep him alive a little better if Darius pulls him in and starts hacking away. But we do see deep wards going down on both sides on the both level jungle. And it looks like we might have Weeblit starting at the enemy Krugs. But he has to be careful as... Oh, Blitzcrank is going to make his way down there. But Weeblit might be in a bit of trouble here. No team, but he will get spotted out by that ward. He should be able to just back away safely. But him and Samilodon are down there, and they're going to get out now. They do have the rest of their bot lane to come help, but it's probably a lot safer to just go back to your jungle and start. Poof the Sheep, just give it a leash, and heading out to lane.
Yeah, we might see them go back into the red buff here, try and steal it, as they know that Freakers is starting on the blue buff, and they are. They're going to go and take away that red buff. Hopefully a 3-buff start there for Weeblit in the jungle on that Echo, which would put him ahead of the Gragas there in the early game.
And this will be really good, because if they can get this red buff, there was no wards to really spot them out. They used the majority of their wards on the top side to spot out Weeblit. Those wards are dropped now. They are not going to know that that red buff is taken. They did walk out through the try, so it's kind of up in the air whether they know or not the red buff is stolen. He's going to steal the Raptors as well. That's very well played by Weeblit, as long as he can transition straight to his blue buff and then up to his red. If he can get the 3-buff start, he's going to be very far ahead. It's going to enable him to gank, but Freaker's coming and Weeblit just going to walk straight on. I wonder, nah, he's not going to play aggressive. I was going to say he might be able to sneak over to that red buff, but Freaker's looking like he just got his pockets picked right before his eyes. As far as the top lane goes here, with Samilodon versus Poof the Sheep, the Darius Gnar matchup is very interesting. I don't think Gnar is a good blind pick anymore with this new patch. With the Juggernauts, they're just too strong to be blind picking Gnar into. If he uses his jump too early, he's going to get punished with a pull-in by Darius. You can deal so much damage. You have sustain hitting champions with your Q. We do see I'm a big tough guy get pulled.
The grab does land onto I'm a big tough guy. Chompers do cut off the disengage, but flash forward from formerly. But I'm a big tough guy. Gonna make it out with just a sliver of health.
Yeah, still holding on to the heal there, so he knew he was going to survive there. Holding on to the heal just in case of that last tick of Ignite got a little too close, but able to get out with just the heal, or sorry, just the flash bone, but still that's going to put Jinx far behind in a lane that, you know, is bound to be lost just because of the level of discrepancy that Mordekaiser can bring.
And that's what you want to do in your bot lane. When you have Mordekaiser in the bot lane, you're going to want to land a grab with Blitzcrank. Get the enemy there in front of you, because you want Mordekaiser to be in the face of those enemy ADCs. He was forced to flash there and almost got the kill, but Mo Money is going to need to be landing those grabs.
Kelthais is in a very tough spot here.
Yeah, Bakery Boy landed some pot shots down. Tafreakers was there, but just not enough there.
They do get themselves a decent CS lead now with that Mordekaiser. They did go very aggressive, blowing a few summoners, but that's very beneficial for Weeblit. Mordekaiser does not have any real mobility besides his W. If he uses that and they go in when it's down, I think they have a very good chance of locking him down and killing him. Echo brings a lot of CC. You can also lock people up pretty well with Janna. You have the Chompers. So that might open up a free gank bot lane if they allow Formerly and Mo Money to push them in. And just wait for the opportune moment, wait for that Harvester Soros to go on cooldown, not giving him the extra movement speed, and go on him. He's got no flash, no mobility, good time to capitalize and get ahead in the lane, because they're not going to beat him in experience.
Very much so. We see Similodon in the top lane pushing in that Gnar already, and
Mo Money is there looking for an engage somewhere. Does land the grab onto I'm a Big Tough Guy. The Chompers did come out there, and now I'm a Big Tough Guy throwing rockets back their way.
I think Janna in that bot lane is a good, probably the best disengage champion for a team, Mordekaiser and Blitz together. Just send out that shield, especially when they have the Monsoon, just to get Mordekaiser away from that carry champion, because that is not a champion you want close to your Jinx, especially an immobile Jinx with no flash.
And I really like the combo of Janna Lulu. Not a people run the Janna in the Protect AD carry comps. Oh.
Sumilodon, Tafreakers is there for the gang. Poof the Sheep, doing what he can, getting those stacks down. The slow does come out, but it looks like it's not going to be enough, and Sumilodon will get away, not even having to burn his flash.
A couple ganks here from Tafreakers that really aren't paying off. Like, he came into the mid lane, ganked Kelthais, but the gank didn't really work. Kelthais just pixied himself out of there, ran away, and another gank in the top lane. Similodon was able to just walk away, and so good attempts already from coming in from Tafreakers, but nothing paying off yet.
Damage going down onto both of the members of the Vicious and Delicious bot lane, and Weeblit now hanging out, coming through the tri-brush, looking for a gank, gonna wait for the perfect opportunity here.
This is good. He didn't want to go in and get caught by the creeps. Once he's gonna wait, I imagine, until they use that speed up.
And he does have the Raptors buff, so we know he's not spotted yet. And here he comes in.
Coming from behind, gonna look to land a parallel convergence for the slow, but it's not done. But getting the damage down onto Formerly still. Exhaust does go on Weeblit. Chompers come out as well. Weeblit gonna back out here. Flash forward from Mo Money and gets the grab, looking for the re-engage. Tafreakers here as well. Flashes forward. First blood comes out in the top lane, not here at all. Members Arlo and I'm a Big Tough Guy goes down to Formerly, and Hot Dog McGee barely escaping with her life.
I think in the top lane there we had Sumilodon use the grab or the pull to pull Poof the Sheep out of his TP, making it useless.
Okay,
but then he ended up going in and getting the kill onto Sumilodon. Very unfortunate. Now he has a 2-level advantage in that top lane. Another free dragon. Not looking good, as Mordekaiser is at level 6. He's going to get the dragon passive, and they should be able to put a lot of damage onto whatever turret they decide to push. Very good play there by Vicious and Delicious.
Yeah, really great turnaround, because that started out as the gank there for Weeblit, but just wasn't able to engage the parallel convergence, didn't land, and then they turned around to go away, but who was it? Mo Money landed a great grab onto I'm a Big Tough Guy, and Tafreakers showed up, and that was it.
And they're playing around the... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I didn't have it.
I was just going to say, they're playing very well with the Mordekaiser comp. That's exactly what you want to do. You want to bring your jungler down bot lane around right before Mordekaiser hits it. That way you can put pressure on the lane, get the dragon, and I feel like that's what Weeblit was also trying to prep for. He wanted to get that gank ready for when he hit level 6. They could kill him so he didn't get a free dragon. However, the Freakers doing exactly what they need to do with that comp, bringing him down bot lane to help out. This dragon just tearing apart the team. But
I love that though. That's so funny. That Children of the Grave from Mordekaiser, just getting the dragon out there everywhere else on the rift, just looks so ridiculous. I love it. I love it.
It's really cool. It does a lot of damage too. That splash damage. Definitely not good to group up with that, but I think it's the first time we've ever seen Similodon really be challenged in lane here. He did try and save his teammates, but he ended up going down for it. We'll have to see if he can recover by himself. He's usually pretty efficient just laning 1v1 and dodging ganks. Might need a little help from Weeblit in this one. Do have the Phage already done onto the Gnar. Similodon going to start building as well towards that Black Cleaver. They both get Black Cleaver. I'm very curious what the second item will be from Similodon. We've seen a lot of different builds come up from Darius's. Lots will either go full damage or go Black Cleaver and then into straight tank. Black Cleaver, Titanic Hydra also being a very efficient item on him. You can reset the auto as well as your W, and you get those bleed stacks so much faster, allowing you to get the max stacks for your ulti built up in a matter of seconds, but he's getting pushed out lane very hard.
Yeah, Indecision's in a tough spot here. Both their top and their bot lane are losing, and they have a Lulu in the mid lane. Lulu, not really known for, dominating lane, and right now, even in CS with this Kog'Maw, so they're really, even or losing in all lanes, which isn't good for a Protect the Jinx comp, because if you get too far behind here, and they are down 1k gold here at 9 minutes there, it's not looking good going into the mid game here for Indecision.
Yeah, they need that gold lead. Well, not necessarily need it, but they need to pull themselves back slowly. The bot lane's obviously going to fall behind in experience. That's not something you can deal with. But the Kog'Maw will outscale the Lulu. So the fact that he basically has a farm lane is really advantageous for Bakery Boy. He's going to keep going. He's got his tier already. He's just going to keep stacking it. Once he gets Luden's Echo, he's going to be doing a ton of damage. That living artillery does so much damage, and once you have blue buff and your stacked tier, you can just repeatedly spam them. Even though the mana cost goes up, the damage is increased, as long as you have the mana regeneration to deal with it, you can just keep poking out. And he has a great front line to keep him alive. They don't have a ton of engage on the side of Indecision, so this Kog'Maw should stay fairly safe in those team fights unless Similodon or Weeblet can really get to that backline.
So the last time we saw Mordekaiser in a game in the SKL, we saw it from Indecision there. I'm a Big Tough Guy played it, and they had a good start, kind of, I wouldn't say super similar to this game. I don't think they were as far behind, but, as far ahead. But they fell down around that mid game. They lost a dragon fight, and that was kind of the end of the Mordekaiser. Just fell too far behind. Are we going to see the same in this game?
And correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't the matchup for the Mordekaiser in the game, wasn't it against a Jinx?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see maybe if that'll scale into the late game and just outscale the Mordekaiser. What do you think, Designator?
The team comp from Indecision last time, I feel like, was not optimal for the Mordekaiser. They picked the Lulu mid, which does not synergize well with Mordekaiser. The reason Lulu Jinx is so good is because you have the shields and the movement speed. That's huge when you have so much mobility onto your AD carry. This Mordekaiser comp I like a lot more. You have a ranged damage coming out from the mid lane. That's very important when you have Mordekaiser as your AD carry, because he's melee. You don't have the ranged damage. So the fact that they have this Kog'Maw, I think, makes up for the lack of range in the bot lane. So I definitely favor the comp that they're running this game compared to the one that Indecision ran last time that we saw Mordekaiser.
And we see them putting a big hurt onto I'm a Big Tough Guy. During that, had to blow both the flash and heal there, so really just putting a lot of play into Freakers, focusing around that bot lane, taking away that whole bot side jungle from Weeblet, so he's not staying around there. He's looking for farm too.
And Kelthai's very low, and just the explosive cast comes out and picks up the kill.
I believe that's what we call a swag keg when you get those kills.
The drive-by.
Just throws it over the wall.
Yeah.
And this is where it's very bad for Kelthai. Lulu is a strong champion. He's running Ignite, but he hasn't been able to put the pressure on the Kog'Maw.
Yeah, full health right now.
And he's just going to outscale. And we can already see, if he's pushing Kelthai out of lane by himself, he's going to pick him another kill.
Now Weeblet up in the top lane. Not sure what he was doing there. Just gets solo killed by Poof the Sheep.
Yeah, Indecision unraveling here. Just things not going well all over the map. 0-1 for everyone except for this Janet. Everyone's dying. Everyone's losing now. It's not looking good.
Looking really shaky compared to their game last week. Game 1 didn't look so tough, but Vicious and Delicious playing very strong. They're playing to their comp's win conditions, and I'm really enjoying seeing. I think this is a better testament to why Mordekaiser's a strong pick, and they're doing it well. They enabled them level 6, got that dragon, and that's how you snowball your lead. You don't have much siege in that comp, so getting the dragon early on and continually getting dragons is going to be very important.
Yeah, speaking of dragon, 10 seconds here. It's coming up. Vicious and Delicious does have a pink ward onto dragon there, so they have the slight vision control over it. Not a lot, considering there's not a lot of vision control from either teams yet in this game, but
Mo Money coming to the mid lane, looking for an engage, just breathing down the neck of Kelthais, but gonna walk away. Yeah, it'll be good to see in this game if we can see why Mordekaiser is such a, he's almost permabanned in solo queue in normals. I know, designer, you came up against a Mord the other night, didn't you? I seem to remember you complaining about how disgusting the champion was.
I had this AD carry matchup too. I was jinxed into Mordekaiser. It's just not fun. The guy gets way ahead of you in experience. And as long as he has a support that can enable him, like, I think they had a Thresh I was against, it's really gross. He just does so much damage, and if they get that Dragon early, there's not much you can do. You get pushed out of lane because that Dragon does so much damage, and he can tank the turret while they just go up and smack you. I would be very surprised if Indecision tries to fight this Dragon fight. They don't have really the itemization for it yet. They are going to give out for free, but they really need to turn it around into a turret mid lane or top lane. Because that Dragon's coming mid, and they're going to look to siege that turret.
And that mid lane turret is low already, as well as the tier 1 turret in the top lane. So that should go down very quickly here, as they might just back off and let it go down.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to here. This is going to be the 3rd turret picked up. All the outers going down for Vicious and Delicious, and they net themselves a 5k gold lead at 15 minutes here, and it's not pretty. Not pretty at all.
It's going to be very tough for and a solo kill by Poof the Sheep onto Similidon. That top lane not really going how we thought it would. Similidon's been very strong throughout the tournament. Hasn't really been tested top lane, but it looks like Poof the Sheep really giving him a run for his money.
Yeah, those outplays not coming out as well. Worth noting, Poof the Sheep has completed his Black Cleaver, so that will be doing a lot more damage in those trades up in the top lane. As you know, Similidon and Darius has not completed his yet. If that is what he chooses to go first item.
Yeah, he should with that Kindle Gem there, yeah.
And it is good. I know a lot of teams, we have praised Indecision for their very, very good ward coverage. They usually run the double Sightstone. Weeblet not quite there yet, only has Cinder Hulk. But we see Vicious and Delicious also running the double Sightstone. Very smart, because you have a Blitzcrank. You want to find those picks. The guy has a hook. So enabling him to win that Vision War, they already have 2 sweepers on their side, very good, as well as them. You need to get that ward coverage, clear out the enemy vision, and now that all the tier 1s are down, get in the enemy jungle and start warding that, get ready for picks.
And we see how far ahead this Mordekaiser is. I really want to see some spooky ghosts coming out from that Mordekaiser there. Like, I think that would be, when you're this far ahead, I think that would be the perfect item onto Mordekaiser there.
We talked a lot about the itemization. I know me, Silky, and DXI Edge, and your standard 2 items that you usually will see are Rylai's and Triforce, and pretty much after that, it's a pick your own adventure type thing. Whatever you prioritize, Zanya, Spooky Ghost for the chase down. It's anything that really gives AP or split damage is really strong on him. The 2 main items are just essentially that Triforce and the Rylai's, just to enable yourself to keep up with targets and deal damage, as that 3rd proc from your Q does a ton of damage, especially with that Sheen proc. But so far, I'm a Big Tough Guy, really far behind Owl and Poof the Sheep.
Poof the Sheep going in onto I'm a Big Tough Guy. No one there. And this could be the 4th solo. Is this the 4th solo kill of the game now for Poof the Sheep?
Poof the Sheep is going off.
Like, yeah, he says, I don't need no team.
This is really interesting. They take the Ashe away from Formerly, the only champion we've really seen him play so far. And he brings up the Mordekaiser. And I have to say, he looks a lot more confident in his play, and he's playing a lot more aggressive than we saw last week. Mind you, Mordekaiser's pretty OP, so he does do a lot of damage. He kind of has that belt on, but he's playing a lot better than we saw from last week. Maybe a little more practice with the team.
Yeah, as last week was. Damage going down. Parallel Convergence will not land, and Indecision doing what they can here to fight Vicious and Delicious off this turret, but I don't know if they're going to be able to hold it for much longer.
They're going to have to probably look for a fight or a pick for Blitzcrank. Like I was saying earlier, they don't have the greatest engage the greatest siege without that dragon. Kog'Maw can slowly poke them off the turret, which is going to be beneficial, but they have no one who can really deal damage to the turret. The range of Kog'Maw is enough, but I mean, you don't want your guy dealing the main damage to get caught out. As Kog'Maw, no mobility to really escape. Poof the Sheep has a bit of range, can get out. But if Bakery Boy can keep poking them down, then they can get the turret. But besides that, it's really up to them not to get engaged on it.
Indecision's coming. Weeblet coming around for the flank. Mo Money going in, but goes down too formally. And just, they're going to run away from that engage.
The Hot Dog McGee getting caught out there from the Mo Money hook. They're going to hook the Janna in, and there's not much a Janna can do there. You know, has ult, but was down before could even use it. So
I honestly think they're going to have to give up this turret. We see Poof the Sheep sitting here with almost a full Marbar. If they go in, it's 4v5. You're missing part of your team comp's priority. You don't have the Janna to shield the peel for that Jinx. You just have the Lulu. And the Jinx just picking up IE now. We haven't seen Lulu pick up the Athene's Unholy Grail yet. Should be pretty close with the farm that he has. Should have enough gold to wrap that up soon. He does pick it up now, but the itemization is really lacking on the side of IDK, and I don't know when they're going to be able to look for fights, as it really revolves around I'm a big tough guy, who's currently behind his opponent by quite a large margin, down by 30 CS. There's 2 kills onto that Mordekaiser. He's already finished Triforce. He's pretty much power spiking right now. It's very good for him. They're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, and has the 3-level advantage. That's huge, and that's just what Mordekaiser does, is just gets that huge level advantage, and it's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, there's honestly nothing you can do about it. Unless you repeatedly gank the guy and just sit on top of him. He gets experience. You don't have to last hit minions. As long as you're near them with your passive, you're getting experience. And more money, I'm not sure if he has the talent that increases experience gained while you're around targets that are higher level than you. But
Mo Money might get caught in a bad spot here. The Chompers were not able to get there, and the barrel comes out from Gragas. And Mo Money almost caught in a bad spot, but he gets out.
Yeah, he had a full team around him, and Poof the Sheep still has teleport there in the top lane, so nothing too much to worry about, I don't think.
The damage coming out from Bakery Boy on the Kog'Maw, just absolutely chunking out Telthais and forced to pop Wild Growth there.
And this is what I was talking about. That lane was very beneficial for Kog'Maw. There was really no pressure by Weeblet onto him, and he's farming against a Lulu who's going to shove him in. Of course, he'll just take the free farm. If he's got his Ludens now, he's probably going to finish up his Seraph's Embrace soon. He's going to be dealing a ton of damage. You're going to pick up this 3rd dragon as Poop the Sheep just shoves in that top lane. This is not looking very good for IDK, as they're almost down 10k gold now.
Yeah, there's not a lot they can do. There's just huge threats all over the map. There's a huge split push threat in Poof the Sheep on that Gnar. There's no one that can deal with it. Similodon down 0-2, only has a Black Cleaver finished. Yeah, to the almost Branduins and Black Cleaver of Gnar, and you see them. This is it. This is the next step in the game, is to grab this Baron, and that's what they're doing.
Little Dragon on Baron action, and Weeblet nowhere nearby to be able to contest that at all.
And that's the sad part. Poof the Sheep is that huge split push threat, like you were saying. He's got 4 solo kills. No one can contest that guy. He basically just zoned out Indecision from even going to get a ward down onto Baron. Very efficient use of the dragon. Pull it up, make it do Baron. Does a ton of damage. They still have it to siege turrets now. It's very well played by Vicious and Delicious. They are playing exactly how you need to play this Mordekaiser comp. And like I was saying, I really like the Kog'Maw mid with it. You have that poke, and he does a ton of damage. If he just pokes them down, they can look to engage with the...
Oh, but Parallel Convergence does land from Weeblet, and Bakery Boy knocked back into the base, but able to get out, and formally gets the kill onto Similodon. That's one of the main damage sources right now for Indecision. That looked like it was a good pick out there for Indecision, but just not able to finish.
And we see them just not caring about this tower. They're diving, they're jumping, they're doing everything in here, and they're not even really that low. No, they're a little low, but that's pretty fair for getting an inhibitor tower and an inhibitor.
And this is where we were kind of talking, kind of the wonky comp, but I was saying that Gragas was pretty good for getting disengaged. He gets the Melodon off of Bakery Boy with just the explosive cask. Throws it, gets him over. He did have to flash over the wall. They did get him out though. It was a great try by Indecision. That was very nice. They got Bakery Boy split from the entire team, but he flashed over the wall and the rest of his team collapsed and healed for him. Very well played, but it's looking very dark. I'm not sure that they can fight. The Jinx is so far behind. And with that being one of their primary damage sources, as well as Darius also 0-3, he fell behind getting solo killed in this lane a couple times. They don't have the damage to team fight right now, and I'm not sure what they're going to do because they can't group now that they have the super minions coming down mid. It's not like they can just walk through the lane, group up as 5 and push, as they have Poop the Sheep, who's a very scary split push threat. Going to be very scary for Indecision. They're going to have to find picks with nothing to really pick people off with.
Yeah, and they are all gonna, Vicious and Delicious are all heading into that top lane because that's the only thing left on this map is those 2 inhibitor towers. Everything else they have. They've got Dragon, they've got Baron, they've got everything. So top, bot, they're gonna have to get something here. And they have Poof the Sheep split pushing in the bot lane. So that's like, and Jinx isn't going to be able to even contest that push coming in from Poof the Sheep. Poof the Sheep is way too far ahead with the Randuins, with the Black Cleaver, and I think Indecision is just going to slowly go down here unless we see like a really nice engage or Bakery Boy hope someone out completely.
And just easy on both sides. They have Baron minions. They have both Poof the Sheep pushing with the Baron minions top or bottom. Sorry, they have the rest of the team top.
Kelthice! Oh my
He gets
gosh.
him with the third proc. That was disgusting.
The Mace of Spades.
And that's what we're talking about. The Sheen proc. He just bopped him on the head. That's a free Lulu ghost. I don't know if he ulted. He did not. He didn't even have time. He just destroyed Kelthice getting caught out there. And this is where we're saying that Mo Money was a flip strength. Great pick there. And I think this is a very good by Vicious and Delicious.
Poof the Sheep looking for another solo kill. As the turret in the top lane does go down, Inhib will be next. And there's not much they can do here. They're split with Poof the Sheep doing work. They're not able to fight him off. Too tanky, too much damage. Now he's Mega Gnar. I think they're just gonna move down to the bot lane now. Give him a little help.
Yeah, 25 minutes into the game, they almost have all 3 inhibitor towers and inhibitors, and I think this is going to be close to the end of the game here. I would assume, as one of our fastest games so far in SKL.
Yeah, I think the only shorter other games was Team Defense was just under 3 shorter than 20 though. Good hook there by Mo Money, but nothing will come as it. Just using the
Formally going forward.
But yeah, they're gonna look to end the game.
Be on to the Nexus turrets here. All 5 members of Indecision are up, but on the explosive cast comes out, and Poof the Sheep is unstoppable as 2 members of Indecision go down. And this will be the game here, as they are onto the first Nexus turret. I'm a big tough guys there. Not what he's gonna do. Formerly's looking for the kill here. So is Poof the Sheep on the Mega Gnar. The double ulti into the wall on Hot Dog McGee and Kelthice, but does get knocked up and not able to complete the kills. Oh my goodness, that was a lot of damage. Freakers picking up the kill. The second Nexus turret will go down here. Formerly bopping Kelthice on the head. Oh, she gets on the fountain. They're onto the Nexus turret. It's down, and my god, what a clean victory for Vicious and Delicious.
They lost 1 turret. They didn't lose any. They didn't give up any kills. They didn't lose any dragons. They got themselves a Baron. That was just very well played. They played their comp exactly how they needed to.
Surgical.
So to Xaninator, at the beginning of the game, you said, I don't really like Poof the Sheep blind picking that Gnar. There's such threats in the Darius, in the Gangplank, in those bruisers. What do you think of Poof the Sheep's Gnar in this game?
He played it very well. I'm not against him picking it. I just think the Gnar as a champion is very hard to pick. He did very well in lane. It was very well done. I still stand by my statement. I think it's a very scary blind pick, but I think he just outplayed Similidon, and Similidon really was doing very well until he got hooked in.
Alright, well that was game 1, everybody, with Vicious and Delicious picking up the victory. And we're gonna take a break here. We're gonna come back in a few minutes. We'll get the lobby set up for the next game. We'll be right back.